Hi, I'm Ashley Schmidt, and not only am I an Air Force Academy graduate, I worked in the United States Air Force Academy Admissions Office. And so what I wanted to talk to you today is nomination tips and tricks. This is a third part in a five-part series, so if you've missed any of the other parts, please check out my channel and see some more tips and tricks. We're going to talk about two more today, and those two are excitement and star stories. Both of them kind of fall under the area of preparation, and these are things you can do and practice much earlier and prior to your actual interview. So let's talk about the first, excitement, okay? You do not want to show up and talk like this woodenly. Or we talked about eye contact. You don't want to be staring at the ground, right? It's kind of awkward. It's weird. I know, and I've said this in the other parts, I know it feels like an interrogation, but it is a conversation. They are trying to get to know you. They're trying to learn about you. And so be enthusiastic. Don't be a crazy cheerleader, rah, 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 but there's a middle ground, right? There's overly enthusiastic where you scare people. There's talking to the floor and being really quiet, right? Somewhere in between. You want to hit that that in between point. So a good way to do this is to practice. You know, talk to your family, talk to your friends. Heck, you can talk to your mirror if you want to. But try and talk and listen to your own voice. Does it sound, you've been in classes, right, where your teachers are just droning on and your eyes roll back into your head, right? Don't be that person. The teachers that most interest you have a little bit of life, a little bit of excitement, and that's what you're trying to do in these interviews. You're trying to put a little bit of you into this conversation. All right, so my second tip. This is like the biggest tip, and it is easy to do, but it takes practice and preparation. It's what I like to call star stories. So a lot of the questions are what they call behavioral questions, and so they ask things like, tell me about a time, or have you ever been a leader? Tell me about a time you were a leader. Tell me about a time you organized or planned something, right? That is a story. Okay, so that's why I like to do these star stories. Now, what STAR is it's an acronym. So STAR, right? Okay, so situation, task, actions, results. So when you were given the tell me about something or tell me a time, you are going to give a STAR story. Okay, so situation, so what happened? Task, what you were required to do, actions, and then what your specific, now the thing is specific actions, and then results. What were the results of that? So let's say they ask the leadership question, tell me about a time you've led. Okay, so situation, you kind of give some background, some so that they could understand where you're coming from, right? The task, what you were meant to lead. Were you in charge of a booth for a fair for raising money? Okay, well, say I was in charge of the fishing pond. Give some details so that they can see it, but you don't want to get a lot of details. So that situation task is maybe 3 or 4 sentences, okay? You don't want that to be a very long thing. You want to focus on the A part, actions. What were your specific actions in leading, right? So it was leadership question. What did you do for that fair? Did you organize a committee? Did you delegate out responsibilities? Did you meet with them weekly? Did you check in to make sure if they needed any help? What did you do, right? Your actions. Did you organize supplies? Did you have to get a list together and put prices on it so that the school could buy or the church, whatever, could buy these things and then give them to you? What did you do, right? Actions, okay? Specific. Now, results. How well did it go across? Now, the results it has numbers. That's great. Let's say your booth raised the most money for the fair. Well, that's great. Say that. Say our booth was so successful, it actually raised the most money for that fair. Perfect, right? But let's say you don't have necessarily a hard number. Hard numbers are great, but if you don't have one, then give something like, I really think it went out well. We didn't have any problems. Everyone really enjoyed it. It seemed to go like a really great event, right? Just give some results so that if you don't give results, they don't know how well you led, right? If it failed miserably, that would mean you were not really a good leader. But if it did, well, or at least went off without any big problems, then you led it well. You did a good job. So, STAR, situation, task, actions, results. It is just a framework so that you can create and practice these stories so that when you're asked questions, that you can deliver them in a manner that is interesting and exciting. And right, we're going to add that excitement. You don't want to be boring. You want to just add kind of what you did. And the nice thing about STAR stories is people and students really worry about bragging. Oh, I don't want to tell what I did because it feels like bragging. That's why STAR stories are nice. You're not bragging. You were giving the facts. You were laying out what you did. You were laying out what the results were. And then the interviewer can listen and decide if you did a good job or not. That makes it feel like it's on them versus when bragging is like you're telling people what to think, right? Here, I'm so awesome. I'm so great. Well, that's annoying. Instead, you just say, I think I did a really great leadership job on this. You tell your story, and then they get to decide if you did a good job or not. So it doesn't come across as bragging, it comes across as interesting. And if you were very specific with your actions, that action part of the A, they know exactly what you did, and they can see what you did to be a leader. So those are my 2 tips for today. If, like I said, if you've missed any of my other tips and tricks, sign up, subscribe, check out the rest of my YouTube channel. I hope this was really helpful. Thanks so much.
Want to impress Academy admissions? Want to get that nomination? Then this is the workbook for you. Grab your step-by-step guide on Amazon today. Use the link below or search on Amazon for Service Academy admissions.